Good morning, my dear students. A very warm welcome to today's science class. So children, we are doing chapter number 8, body movements. And we have done almost half the chapter and we are towards the end of the chapter. We are going to finish the chapter. So now let us recap what we have done in the previous class. We discussed about the structure of earthworm, then the habitat of earthworm and how does it move. So let us do a quick recap of it. Earthworm are usually found in moist soil, muddy places and in swampy areas. Why? Because they do not have legs, and earthworms are invertebrate. They do not have any bones like we human have. Yes. It feeds on organic matter, decaying matter and the small organisms which live in the soil. Its whole body is divided into segments, and those segments have small hair-like structures called the bristle, and the bristles are called setae. So with the help of those setae, they are able to move, and since those setae helps them move easily in moist and slippery surface, they cannot move much easily on rough and dry surface. Yes, so each segment has bristles which helps in its movement. Earthworm moves with the help of circular and longitudinal muscles. So around the body of the earthworm, it has two types of muscles which helps in movement of the earthworm, that is the circular muscles and the longitudinal muscles. So children, in today's class we are going to discuss about the movement in snail and snake. After today's class, you will be able to understand and explain how movement takes place in snail and how movement takes place in snake. You will also be able to observe the difference between the movement in snail and snake, and you'll also be able to compare the movement of snail, snake and the movement of earthworm which we did in the previous class. So let us begin. So children, before moving into to understand the movement in snail, let us find out where does it live. What is the habitat of snail? So snail can live everywhere. It lives in soil, on dirt, then sand, trees, under rocks or leaves, and in the rivers, lake and ocean. So you'll find snails almost everywhere on land and in water. So these are the habitats of snail. Now, what does a snail eat? Snail feeds on plant. It also eats fungus. Yes, that means it eats the decaying substances also, and on that decaying substance, when fungus grow, they eat the fungus also. They eat algae, plant matter and vegetables such as lettuce and then dandelion greens, cucumber, carrot. So they eat all types of plants. And here in the picture you can see that the snail is feeding on strawberry. So that means it also eats fruits. So they eat fruits, vegetables, then fungi and the algae. They eat everything. Fine. So this is the food habit of a snail. Now let us look into the body structure of the snail. So the body structure of snail has 5 main parts, that is the head, mouth, muscular foot, tail and the shell. So the shell is a hard covering on the body of the snail. The body of the snail itself is very soft and it is very delicate, so it has to be protected inside the shell. So the shell provides protection to the soft and delicate part of the snail, but the shell do not help in the movement of the snail. It has to carry the shell wherever it goes. So the shell, as it is present outside the body of the snail, we can call it an exoskeleton since it is hard, but it is not as hard as bone. So this is the body structure of the snail. And now let us see how does the body structure helps in the movement of the snail. Now here you can see that the foot of the snail is made of strong muscles. So this is called the foot. This part is called the foot. So it has a single long muscular foot with the help of which it crawls on layers of mucus like slime that it secretes. So when it moves, it secretes a slimy substance, slimy mucus, which is left behind when it moves on a surface. So the waves which are produced by the strong muscular foot moves much faster than the snail itself, and also the muscular foot generates enough force to push the snail forward, and this is how the snail will move forward. So here is a video which shows how snail moves. So the snail is moving on a glass, and then you can see the wave of the muscular foot, and also you might have observed that the waves move much faster than the snail. So the muscular foot moves in a wavy way, and it helps in the movement of the snail. So it is moving with a wavy motion. The muscular foot is producing a wavy motion which will help it to move. So this is how the snail moves. Now let us understand how the snake moves. But before that, let us see where snakes are found. So snakes are found on land, including forests, prairies, desert, and in water environment also. That means they are found both on land and in water. Some variety or some species of snake is found on land, and some species are also found in water. They are also found in trees. Yes, you might have seen that the snake coils itself around the branch of a tree. So they are found both on land, on trees, and then in water also. Now what is the food habit of snake? So snakes are carnivores. Some eat warm-blooded animals like rabbit, birds. Some eat insects, amphibians like frog and toad, then eggs of other animals, other reptiles, fish, earthworms, slugs. So snake eat almost all animals. Yes, so they are carnivores, and the snake actually do not chew the food, they swallow the food as a whole. Now in the picture you can see that the snake is swallowing a rat. So the food habit of the snake is what? It is a carnivore animal, and it swallows the food instead of chewing it. Now let's look at the structure, body structure of the snake. So the snake has a long backbone. As you can see that the snake has a long backbone, and many small bones are attached to it. Yes, many small bones are attached to it, and these small bones, as we have already studied in human rib cage, yes, these bones are called vertebra. Yes, and it is attached to the ribs. So around 200 to 400 vertebra is present, and the body is elongated, and also it has a tail at the end of the body. But snakes do not have any limbs. They are limbless animals. They do not have any leg, and as a result they slither or they crawl on the surface. Yes, so the body structure of the snake is long and elongated, and this body structure helps the animal to move. Now how does it move? It can move in 4 different ways. The movement is in 4 different ways, and the common way is making loops. Yes, so you'll see that it makes loops, S-shaped loops, and it moves in a zigzag manner. Yes, it moves in a zigzag manners. Many small muscles are attached to the small vertebra, and it helps in the movement of the snake, and each loop gives a forward push. So as it is forming many loops are being formed when the snake moves, and each time it makes a loop. The loop helps in pushing the body of the snake forward. It gives a forward push, and it moves very fast, and it does not move in a straight line. It always moves in a zigzag manner, and the shape in which it moves is a S-shaped loops. This is how the snake moves. So this is all for today's class. I hope that all of you have understood how the snake moves and how the snail moves, and you might also be able to compare the types of movement that takes place in snail and in snake. So now let us do the summary of today's class. What we have learned in today's class? So children, we have learned that snail lives on land, water, tree, under the rock, under the leaf, and it feeds on plants, algae, plant matter, vegetables and fruits. It moves with the help of its strong muscular foot. On the other hand, snake lives in forest, desert, land. It has a long backbone which is made of many vertebrae, and it moves by making loops. Each loop will help it to push its body forward, and it will never move in a straight line. It will move in a zigzag manner. So this is all for today's class. Thank you and have a great day.